Hi, I'm Richard L. Weaver II, Dick Weaver, and my writing career began in high school with a teacher by the name of Mr. Granville. I took an English course, and Mr. Granville was a teacher, and he was the one who encouraged me to take a second course. It was called Advanced English, and he ended up being the teacher of that course as well. He was the first one who really showed me that I knew how to write, that I could be a writer, or even suggested that I take other English courses in order to improve my skills. So I did. But I was a pre-med major. I wasn't into English at that point in my life. I was taking mostly math and science courses. And it really wasn't until I was a sophomore in college when all that changed and I had to take a required speech course. But that's getting just a second ahead of the story, because along the way I did take other basic English courses, learning grammar and structure and all kinds of various parts of the English language that I really didn't know that much about. But I was being encouraged anyway. So after my master's degree at Michigan, I went on to get my PhD at Indiana University. And I took my dissertation topic with me from Michigan. It was called Forum for Ideas, the Lyceum Movement in Michigan. And with that idea in mind, that I was going to write my dissertation on a topic, Michigan topic, I started writing chapters of my dissertation in the various courses I was taking at Indiana University. The director of my dissertation, Dr. Robert Gunderson, was the second person most influential in my life as far as writing goes, including Mr. Granville. Bob Gunderson was a very, very tough dissertation director. He absolutely insisted that I do things properly, actually according to Strunk and White's Elements of Style. That was his rule book, his Bible, and became mine as well. So it was with the dissertation that I left Indiana University, finished it at the University of Massachusetts, where I taught next, and I finished my dissertation, and just after I finished my dissertation, I got a call from a person by the name of Sondra Hybels. Sondra and I were together in one course at the University of Michigan. I didn't know her very well, but her question to me was, "Hey Dick, do you want to write a textbook with me? Do you have about 6 months and we'll write a textbook together?" And so she suggested that we write this book, Speech Communication. We wrote it with a company called D. Van Nostrand. And actually, it was popular enough to go into a second edition about 3 or 4 years later, Speech Communication with D. Van Nostrand Company. And it was Hybels and Weaver. Well, that book was really the landmark, the beginning, the benchmark, the place where everything started. That book now is going, this is the 10th edition of the book, Communicating Effectively. We changed the title, change in publishing company. We're now with McGraw-Hill. But this is the 10th edition. We write a new edition about every 3 years. So I am currently at work on an 11th edition, which would be about 33 years plus those 6. So I've been writing this book for about almost 40 years now. Been very successful, and I've been very pleased. But along the way, I wrote academic articles, yes, publications that I needed for merit and promotion. And I went on to write other textbooks as well, Research in Speech Communication, a book called Understanding Interpersonal Communication, which went through 7 editions, and some public speaking books along the way, along with the academic publications. Then I was in church one Sunday, and the minister, Dr. David Anderson, talked about an essay that he had rejected from the Toledo Blade. And it was rejected because it was too long. He said it was over the 1,000 word limit. But he wanted to, on that Sunday, talk about the topic that he had written about. Well, the thought occurred to me, if Dr. David Anderson is writing essays for the Blade, and the requirement is that they be 1,000 words long, I thought, I can do that. And I had 16 of my essays published in the Toledo Blade in the Saturday Essays column. Well, Tom Walton, the editor at that time, who started that Saturday Essays series, retired. When he retired, I wanted to continue writing essays. These were 1,000-word essays. So my son Anthony and I started a blog, andthensomewworks.com. And I would write an essay a week, 1,000-word essay, and it would be published every Thursday. I'd write a book review on Monday. On Tuesdays we would have something called And Then Some News, alerting people to what else was going on in the company. We established a company, And Then Some Publishing, LLC. On Wednesday we would have a quotation, and on Friday we'd have humor. And every Thursday, from about 2005 to the present time, about 8 years now, we have published one 1,000-word essay every single week, closing in now on 400 essays. Well, we went on beyond just the essays and the essays for the Blade. I began writing books for And Then Some Publishing. Our first book was a book of essays, And Then Some Essays, and this was just more a collection of the essays that were published in the Blade and additional essays that I wrote. And then, because I was writing essays, I wrote something called You Rules, Caution, Contents Leads to a Better Life. This is a motivational book. It has essays that cover almost all aspects of human behavior and is designed to push, to motivate, to propel you to be a better human being. After writing that, I put together a book called S'mores, S-M-O-E-R-S. Yes, we spelled it incorrectly, but it means self-motivation, optimism, encouragement, rules. These are quotations, 365 days a year, motivational quotations for every single day of the year. After that, I put together a book based on my interpersonal books, based on my communication books, a book called Relationship Rules. And incidentally, Anthony was the one who painted the picture on the front of this book, Relationship Rules for Long-Term Happiness, Security, and Commitment. That was the next one. And the following one, our most popular at And Then Some Publishing, is called Public Speaking Rules, All You Need for a Great Speech. Partly because I had done a whole lot of speeches, of books and other speeches on public speaking. And then the most recent one is called Exotic Destinations and Then Some. The subtitle is Stories of Adventures from Around the World. This really gives you a little bit of the history that I have had, not just in textbook writing, because I've done a lot of that, not just in academic writing, because I've done a lot of that, not just in the speeches that I've written, and I've done a lot of that, but also in the books that are designed for a public, for a general audience. I've had an incredibly interesting, incredibly challenging career in writing, and I have loved every minute of it.